plays out. Atlanta, I'm probably going to give them. I'm going to say a C. I'm borderline C and D, just because I think that they should be a whole lot better than they are.
I'm giving them an F because they're literally having a Twitter war with one of their players right now, who's calling them a clown, who came out and said all this stuff about them trying to trade him and it didn't work and this and that. I mean, when you're getting called out from even within your own company, I mean, you got to get an F. I mean, that's pretty bad.
It goes to the culture that we live in, and it should not be tolerated.
Get off your porch, my God.
Who, me?
You sound like an old man. This culture and these kids.
What I'm saying is that when you sign a contract, I mean, nobody else in America, no other job in America, when you think about sports, and you go get me on the soapbox here, no other job. You go to your boss or you go on Twitter and you go and you start talking junk about your organization and your boss and the company, all that stuff. You fired on Monday. But because it's the NFL and you make millions of dollars, you somehow think you're entitled to go out there and bash your coach, bash your organization, and bash your team and demand a trade and get it. What happened to being loyal to our word when it comes to NFL and NBA? That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's a cultural thing. I just think that we need to get back to that place where we have a respect. Go handle it man to man. Go have an office talk.
He's not been allowed in, so he can't handle it man to man. In all fairness, though, we've had this argument, and we're probably going to continue to have this argument. Your players will be loyal when you are loyal. When you fully guarantee their contracts and they're locked in, that's when they'll become more loyal. They'll become more like the NBA guys, even though they demand trades too. But when the NFL guys know that no matter what, they could sign a $10 million contract for 5 years today, and they could become the best player in the league, and you can hold them to that $10 million contract. Absolutely. But they also know if they sign that $10 million contract today for 5 years and they struggle, you can cut them the next day, and you don't have to pay all that $10 million. So there is no loyalty between owners and players. So why do you think that there's going to be a loyalty from players to owners? Because everybody's out for themselves.
Because it is a business. We all agree with that.
It is a business. And that person's body is their business, so they need to cash in while they can.
But guess what? Look, if the Falcons are not sitting at the bottom of their conference right now, their division, and they're leading it, Guy never says a word on Twitter. That's the nature of who we are. When winning, everybody loves ownership. But when we're losing, what?
So how is that the player's fault? If he's not even allowed to play – They literally haven't played him, but yet it's his fault that the ownership and the team is struggling. One play, you just told me a minute ago that one player does not win a Super Bowl. So how is it that one guy who's complaining is the problem?
When we want to build a culture of teamwork and loyalty and whatever we want to do, whatever you want to call it, loyalty looks different in every organization. You said it yourself. Bill Belichick is not personable. Mike Vrabel, V-R-A-B. Yeah. You know, we know he's a player's coach. The players love him. We get that. What I'm saying is that what we do in successful organizations is that we build a culture where we do care about our players. If you give me the opportunity to coach a team, which may never happen, but if you get the opportunity, one of the talks I'm going to have is, look, I love you and I will go to bat for you. But the moment that you go on social media and you start bashing me or you bash something and we haven't sat down and we haven't talked man to man, then I'm going to have a problem with that. That's not the culture I'm trying to build. You have a right to your opinion. Huh?
Who's his culture? They fired the coach and the GM. Who's he supposed to go to, Chris?
Hey.